Crushing the competition.
Hello and welcome back to Pixelmon. Now I'm just using this footage in the background basically just to bring you guys up to date with what's been going on in the server and in the series in general. So over the last few episodes you guys have basically seen what's been happening. Sort of in the past you've seen us sort of starting up, setting up everything, actually going out and hunting and catching Pokemon and sort of exploring and trying to find Pokemon that we actually want for our teams. Now the footage over hopefully the next few weeks and including this episode will basically be more up to date on where we were back in the introduction, with a fully built town, most of us having full teams, and basically being ready to take on these gyms which you're seeing in the background. This is the bug gym, the first one that we found, and actually sort of, well, not the first one we found, but the first one we attempted, and realised that this gym is actually bugged, and all of the Pokemon are set to really low levels, so our teams that are like fully trained are just sort of demolishing them. So that's why I'm using this as just background footage, because it's nothing really interesting or spectacular happening, it's just us smashing through a gym. But over the next sort of hopefully 20 minutes or so of video, you guys are going to see where we're up to date with everything, the town, the teams. I'm just going to catch you guys up to date and be ready for the next few episodes. So we're back and in the present for once rather than several weeks ago. So a lot has actually changed in terms of the team, but the town itself is pretty much exactly where we left it back in the introduction. There's the lab and the farm and Kyle's house and mine and the thing back there. I forgot what name I even used for that. Tom's house, Pokemon, town hall. Everyone's home's here. The town is basically exactly as we left it. But in terms of team composition, mine has actually changed a little bit since last time. I fully evolved a Sandile, who is a little derpy. Occasionally his head does come out just facing straight up, so he's got a few neck problems. But that's fine. I changed out my Caravana, however you pronounce that little piranha Pokemon thing that evolves into a shark, I think. Instead, changed that out for Corfish, which I fully evolved into Crawdaunt, which is now actually my mount, because none of my other Pokemon can actually be mounted for some reason, and he is incredibly fast considering he's, you know, I think supposedly one of the slower Pokemon. I have been, like, fully EV training him as well, so he is actually as strong as Crunch now. Like, he can one-hit things as consistently as my Crocodile, who's been able to one-hit things since basically the start of the game, because he's fucking amazing. But I also changed out, I'm not sure what I changed for this, but this originally was my Larvitar, which I had for ages, like, almost back since, like, the first time we sort of tested stuff out on the server. I don't know if I ever showed catching that. But I catched him over there, or caught him over there on that sort of rocky mountain thing next to the swamp, because they spawn basically on the edge of the swamp quite consistently, and also kind of up the mountain as well. But I have been slowly evolving him and catching him up to my other Pokemon, and I also have an EXP share, which I think is on my Sableye currently, which I got from fighting a Legendary. That was a bit of a development that I haven't put on screen for some reason. There's a lot of just me playing off screen because I wanted to play the game and sort of didn't really want to sit through the effort of necessarily recording and being sort of vocal while I was doing it. It was just sort of, I didn't feel so great or whatever that day, so I played Pixelmon because I enjoy this mod a lot, to be honest. Like, this is actually really fun and enjoyable for me to play because it's mixing two of these things that were kind of so almost important to my childhood, that, like, having them both combined together is this really cool thing that's just kind of nice to come home to sometimes. So I got a whole bunch of items in here as well now. I don't even know what half of these do. There's a berry in here, which shouldn't be because I moved everything. Got an Eviolite. I got a couple more Mega Evolution stones. Some orbs, which are important to something, I think. I don't know. There's some stones, some crap. I did also have a Dusk Stone, which I gave to Kyle to fully evolve his Mischievous. But I also fully evolved my Cactus, which you saw me catch in one of the previous episodes. I do actually remember editing that in, which was kind of a fun experience. Now I have him, which I think I'm just going to rename him Pyramid Head, or Spiky Herb. I haven't decided exactly which yet. And also I changed out one of my other Pokemon for Sableye, which is one of the Pokemon, again, I caught right back at the start. It was part of my original team in those first few episodes, if you saw. And I've been slowly leveling him up because having a Dark Ghost seemed pretty important to the team. So I think he's currently got my EXP share. And I think he can also Mega Evolve. So his like chest crystal becomes this big thing that sort of stands next to him. And also, I got really, really lucky. I got a super rod off of fighting one of the bosses, and over there on the lily pads, because it's like perfectly between both a river and swamp biome, you get such a nice mix of Pokemon that you can catch with it. And I got a Alolan Muck, not even an Alolan Grimer, a fully evolved Alolan Muck, which is pretty fucking awesome because this is one of the Pokemon, when I saw what Pokemon I could get as a dark type, this is one of the ones I was like, yes, catching that, because it's just so dumb but so cool at the same time. Like, it's just a rainbow of colours covered in crystals. I really like him. And I've also been catching a lot of other stuff that's just sort of been put away in my PC because I don't actually have enough space for it. I also have a box filled with Magikarp now. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, and I've been breeding Scorpies, and I've got another egg there. Because I was originally going to have him as my Poison Dark type, but now I have an Alolan Muck, and it's sort of like, Alolan Muck is really cool, and I kind of just want to replace the Scorpies now, even though I sat spending time breeding them and getting a really good one, which is this one, the lowest level one, is, I think it's got a good ability, and it has a bunch of really good moves that it just started with. It's a pretty fucking good Pokemon. It's also enormous, which I think is the largest growth size you can get, or at least one of them. So when he evolves into Draporeon, he'll be fucking huge, and I can ride around on that everywhere, which would also be cool. So I'm sort of still weighing up options. Houndoom is still in here. I also got a Dark Meowth, which I traded with Kyle for a ghost Pokemon I caught. I don't remember which one it was now. I've been catching just random stuff and trading them off to people. Pawniard is also still here. I need to evolve him into Bisharp, be my Dark Steel type. I have a couple Skunkies now. My big rat from back in the first episode, still just sat here in the box. My Kavana's here, pretty low level, so is Absol. I've also got a Murkrow, which I think actually evolves into a Dark type. It's not actually... It might be Dark? Oh, it is Dark right from the beginning, Dark Flying. And I've got a second Pawniard in here, which I could breed to get a really good Pawniard. Although... Yeah, okay. Maybe I could get a better one, since he is giant as well, which would make him... Is a possibility of getting a really, really big Pawniard, which would be really cool. But yeah, I've just been catching random bits and pieces. I also have a level 30 Pupitar in here, which is 11 levels lower than mine now, so not much point to that. I've got the Grimer that I think you saw me catch in a previous episode when I thought it was a Dark type. Turns out regular Grimer, just poison. So actually kind of useless for me. I also caught a Charmander. I don't remember exactly where I found him now. I think he might have been in the mountain biomes. But, yeah, my team composition is pretty much up to date now. Well, you know where it is up to date. I can't really tell you much about other people's team compositions about them being on, because I don't know specifically. I think Kyle has a fully evolved Mischievous. I don't know if he's using that. He has a Yamask, I think is the Pokemon I gave him. I found like a pygmy-sized one in the desert and brought that back for him. I've basically just been handing off Pokemon to people if I can, because I feel like I should be trying to help out everybody, because I'm already at a point where I have enough Pokemon to fill like 2 full teams. So helping out other people and catching them up, it seems like a pretty important thing to do. I actually don't know how well these guys are going. It doesn't feel comfortable in this environment. You're in a pool of water. I guess I should change out the flooring to be sea lanterns or something, just to help that along. But this is the breeding center that I showed you back in the intro. That Mischievous over there, floating around the wall. No, it's a Clank or Bronzor, an even earlier one. But yeah, I don't think anyone's actually using this right now. But I don't think anybody has enough Pokemon to actually use it, other than possibly Kyle, because I think all the ghost Pokemon can breed, technically. Somehow. I don't know really how that works, but sure, they can breed, I think. But in terms of where I'm going next, for my team anyway, I need to either train this Muck or get him some actually good abilities. Because currently he has Poisonium Z, and I also have Ground Z. I'm not going to keep pronouncing the weird... They're the Z crystals for their types. So he gets a super powered version of Dig, which does something insane amount of damage. I almost one-shotted a legendary boss Pokemon we found. And I have also got this guy, but he has not amazing things, like Fling, which is not great when he has the Poisonium Z. He's just going to power up the other Pokemon he's fighting against. The useful thing I could do with that is if I get him a Poison Orb, or multiple of them, I could use Fling on the first turn and basically instantly poison the enemy Pokemon, which could be useful against legendaries that I'm fighting and trying to catch, or against sort of harder boss gyms, because some of them are going to be kind of difficult for me to fight, I think. I'm not really sure off the top of my head which is types are good against Dark, other than I know Fairy, I think, is supposed to be. I'm not sure if Fighting technically is good against Dark or not either. I think a lot of it is just going to come down to what my other type is, because I don't think there are many just pure Dark types, though, other than like Absol, Darkrai, and stuff like that. So I think the main thing is going to come down to just things being good against my other type a lot of the time. Like, obviously Crawfish being water is going to be super, like, negative defense against, like, electric types. I don't know how I was going with that sentence because it just did not sound right in my head no matter how I pronounced it. There's also just chickens running around down here, apparently, because eggs keep coming and I keep throwing them, and then all of a sudden chickens just show up on our shores because they swim over from the fucking swamp over there, because that place is just filled with chicken eggs at this point. I think that one hatched into anything. But yeah, I've also been learning about EV training. That's like a completely new concept to me in terms of Pokemon. As a kid, that was not a thing that I ever did, to be honest. It was just, you just had a Pokemon. If it was good, it was good. Like, I had no idea about this whole like EV training thing, but it seems actually kind of cool because it means I can make things like Crawdaunt, who wasn't amazing to begin with stat-wise, into this kind of badass, like, one-shotting crab Pokemon that just annihilates everything I fight. Like, well, this is not exactly a fair matchup, but if we go up against this guy who's Dark Slash, just one-shot. That seems to be pretty consistent as well. And no, damn, you learned Punishment. Ooh, that might be good. Although that's also good. Oh, damn, I don't know which. Not going to do a whole lot for him right now. He doesn't have a whole lot of stat-changing abilities. So I think I might not do that. Hopefully that wasn't a bad choice. But yeah, there's a weird bug with the EXP share where it will occasionally just, well, it seems to send out the Pokemon if they evolve for some reason, which is an interesting. That's an electric type for sure. We'll take this guy on. It's not going to be super effective. But damn, I need to go to a Pokemon Center. I've just realized how few attacks this guy has left. Like 2 crunches. Damn. Oh wow, that was not worth it at all. We need to go back to the Pokemon Center now as well. That was dumb. So I think what I might do is take on one of these gyms by myself now. I guess I can go and show you guys the bug gym that I've cleared in the intro. I don't know if I can fight any of the trainers here. They do have these statues outside, which I've noticed move every time you show up. Same with the statues actually at the house as well. They all change as you walk around for some reason, which is nice and kind of creepy. But yeah, as you can see, all the Pokemon here seem to spawn at really low levels. Like, almost a tenth of the, like, no, quarter, there we go, the levels we're at. Which is not amazing to say these things are supposed to actually be up to date with your level. Like, the way the gyms are supposed to work, and the reason I said this bug gym was bugged in the intro, was because the gyms are supposed to match your level. They're supposed to be equal to the highest leveled Pokemon in your team. So in my case, that'd be 42, and then everyone else is going to kind of struggle against it, including my Sableye, who's like half of the level. But there are these trainers around here. I came around the other way, which is why all of these, I think, are hostile. This does serve as quite a nice way to just gain a little bit of XP coming here every day, I guess, because These guys are really, really low level. Yeah, I literally lost 2 health doing that entire, like, fighting 2 trainers on the way in here. I lost 2 health. It's not great. Like, the way this is supposed to be challenging, which is why we have 1 types. But none of these other gyms, well, this gym specifically, just seems to have bugged out and just not spawned, like, the right level of stuff. So everything's just dying in one hit in there. So I think what we're going to do is go and check out one of these other gyms. I'm going to hopefully find a Poke Center in this town. There's one over there. There appear to be trainers all the way up here, but yeah, there you go. That one is boss equal, which is what the gym leaders are supposed to be, because that makes it so they actually match your team, so you can't just cheese them by being, you know, 30 levels higher than them. But all the other gyms so far, I think we found, other than the bug one, do seem to have done it. I think Tom was taking on a, I think I'm supposed to go that way around, but I can literally just loop around here. Oh, there they are. It's like an ice wizard right at the top. Yeah, all the other gyms do seem to spawn at the correct level, which is nice. Just seem to be that one bug gym that has just, again, bugged out, which is a nice coincidence, really. I'm not actually sure. I've not got my Houndoom. Houndoom is the unevolved form. Not sure how I'm going to do against an ice gym with a water Pokemon and a bunch of random stuff, but we're going to find out. Apparently Sword Dance is really good. Because I've forgotten so many things that I should have brought with me. Oh damn, I just one-shot him with that. Oh, nice. Wait, is Dark super effective against ice? Is that a thing? Or is it a psychic? Oh shit. Oh no, Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt. Buddy. Crunch. This is not going to go well. I'm pretty sure ice is super effective against ground. Crunch. No! Fuck. Again, this one's like rock. Sure, Dark Pulse. Okay. This is not going to go well, is it? I did not bring a good team for this. Muck. Oh yeah, I forgot he literally doesn't have any fucking useful moves. Brilliant. Pound. Wow. Okay, he's not affected by normal moves. So that would make him a ghost type, which is why my dark type stuff was super effective. So I guess it's time to bring out the other. I can't Mega Evolve him. Fan attack. Ow. Good. I actually can't do anything because all Muck has is normal type moves, and Crawdaunt is frozen. So this went well. This was a great first start to this gym. There goes all of my Pokemon. It's good. Yes, I want to forfeit the battle. Oh, for fuck's sake. I just forfeited the battle. Let me leave. I can't fight you. No. I'm gonna get out of here eventually. Did it. Ow. Well, that was a great first run at the gym. So, you know, I can one-shot everything apart from a gym made of ice, which just destroyed all of my Pokemon in, like, a single fucking battle.